I know, that's what I told her. I said, Jessica, don't do like I did with my back injury and spend 2 years begging and pleading. Don't do that. Pick yourself up, encourage yourself. In the midst of the battle, the smoke, it's what I told Teresa the other night. I said, with Jessica, you got to understand, in the midst of the battle, the smoke is so heavy and things are going on, you can't see anyway. So you can't rely on your sight. And it's very hard to pray to hear the voice. So you only got one choice. The light of the path of my feet is right here. So that's when you're in the midst of the battle and you're all in this battle, then you've got to get to the Word. But when we get in that, why are you where you at, God? And we don't get to the Word to find the light so we can find out what God's trying to tell us, so that we can fix whatever He's trying to tell us that we got a problem in, or we got a situation we need fixed, or we got a stone, or whatever it may be He's trying to tell us. But in the midst of a battle, you're not going to be able to see clearly. You're not going to be able to hear too clearly. So the only, unless you can, and that's where God is trying to get us. In the midst of the battle, where we can stay settled, that's where you go back to James 1. And that's when he's talking about count all joy when you fall in diverse temptation. No man is tempted by God, etc. But if you're like a wave, I'm not going to answer your prayer. But if you want knowledge, ask God, but ask on a stable ground. Well, how do you get that stable ground? Is when you trust Him and you get to the point to realize that all things work out to good. God, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? Then you can listen and you'll get understanding. Like I was telling the other night about that mother that was telling me at the funeral home about her son that kept overdosing. And she was so concerned. Well, she was in that battle. She couldn't hear from God anything because she was all in that smoke. And if she could have finally heard, I believe God would have said, hey, man, it's going to work out. And He may have even told her, said, he's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make him a minister. He may have told her. I don't know. But He would have gave her whatever encouragement she needed to not let it be like this for her. Because she told me, it was like that. It was like that because here he overdosed, here he's not, here he's, So I couldn't imagine, what she went through.
And that scripture too, I know I stand on that scripture so much. When you've done all you can do, stand.
Stand.
And if we can get ourselves, add ourselves enough in the midst of that storm to think, there's nothing we can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And hand it over to the Lord.
Yeah.
Truly give it to Him.
Yeah.
That you can draw comfort in that scripture.
Sure you can.
Because, there's so many things I know in my life as a Christian all these years, there has hardly ever been a time that there was anything I could do in any situation in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was something I always had to have God.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing I could do to fix nothing.
Right.
And if we can come to that place of knowing, that God He's there, and no matter what we go through, He's there for us,
But He warned the last church. And I think that warning's in Luke 18 when He told the parable of the woman that kept going to the judge, whining and crying, revenge me, avenge me, avenge me. But then verse 8 sticks out big time, shall the Son of Man return to faith? So what He's saying is the last church is going to be whining and crying about every storm they're going through. Hey, get me out, get me out. Then that mercy comes. Shane, get up and go pray for John. Get him out of it. So we get him out of it, but he didn't learn. So he's going to have to go around it again. God came with mercy because He knew that if he didn't touch John tonight, John was probably going to quit church. And He's going to have to help him. And see, that's what I think that we're seeing here. And that's going to be the people like that would be me knocking on the door. But Lord, You used me to help John. I know You did. I know You did. What happened there? But you didn't do the will of the Father, Shane. You didn't do the will of the Father. So are we really looking in our life? Anyone else before we go any further? You see what we're talking about? Or do we really have... Are we really concerned about missing heaven? Or have we become complacent that tomorrow's coming no matter what? Because it's came every day so far since you've been alive, ain't it? It's came every day. But one day it ain't going to. One day tomorrow is not going to come. It will. It will. So several things that we use the torment of hell, and we'll I know you know it, but we need to refresh ourselves of it. How much torment will people have in hell? Luke 16:23 through 26. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom, and cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may be dipped, just the tip of his finger in water to cool my tongue. For I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thou good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can ye pass to us, that we could come from hence. So here's even the beginning of great torment of flame, so bad that we're going to beg for water. It's just one thing, and it's a torment place that I think, I remember I may have mentioned, a guy I worked with, Wayne Perkins, who killed himself because his wife was divorcing him, and he had one child, and now he's got a grandbaby. But I can't imagine what's running through Wayne's mind if he did go to hell, which if he killed himself, about his wife, about all the opportunities he's had to serve the Lord, the torment of the flames, and other things that he's tormented. But what, the things that's running through the people that's in hell right now, mind. The torment that's running, the mind torment we think we have here. Ain't nothing like it's going to be there. And not only that, but the pain and the torment of the flames and the other things that we're going to speak about here. The torments that hell is going to have. We got to wake up. We got to realize it is real as heaven. It is real as healing. It is real as God. It is real as Jesus dying on the cross. Hell is as real as anything else word. Let me finish some of these, and then if there's any questions. There'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Matthew 8:12. And the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There'll be darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Man, I mean darkness. And if you've never been in a coal mine, I'm telling you, you talk about darkness. There's going to be great darkness and weeping and gnashing of teeth. Fire, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. Matthew 13:41 through 42 and verse 50. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire, so fire, and there shall be wailing, many people crying out. Crying would be unbelievable. We think we've heard crying. We ain't heard crying. Pain so bad that there'll be gnashing of teeth. Teeth that's gnashing together from pain. And shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Darkness, weeping, and gnashing of teeth. Matthew 22:13. Then said the king to the servant, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. And there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Everlasting fire and everlasting punishment. Matthew 25:41 and 46. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart ye from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. Fire not quenched, and where the worm dieth not. Mark 9:44. Where the worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. That is just some things of hell. Just a few of the things. And do we really believe it as much as we believe all these people talking about